Hello and welcome to another video. This video is going to be a thank you video. And we are going to thank you by sharing some of our favorite quotes and also sharing why these quotes are important to us. So enjoy. The first one comes from Publius, and the quote goes like this: "We have 2 ears and 1 tongue, that we may hear more and speak less." There were some discussions on whether this was Diogenes of Sinope, or Zeno of Citium, or Epictetus, but regardless, the message is loud and clear, and here's why this quote is important to Publius. "Words to live by, and one of the major things I continue to struggle with, LOL. While it's cynical and not Stoic, it applies to Stoic philosophy as well. Honestly, I feel the value of this quote is self-explanatory, and I would personally agree with that." So the next quote is also Publius. "What would have become of Hercules, do you think, if there had been no lion, hydra, stag, or boar, and no savage criminals to rid the world of? What would he have done in the absence of such challenges? Obviously, he would have just rolled over in bed and gone back to sleep. And so by snoring his life away in luxury and comfort, he never would have developed into the mighty Hercules. And even if he had, what good would it have done him? What would have been the use of those arms and physique and noble soul without crises or conditions to stir him into action?" This is a quote by Epictetus, and Publius says, "The obstacle is the way. The true value in this quote is in showing that while we may hate them in the moment, our obstacles and challenges are what truly make us who we are, and we should be grateful for them." Again, I wholeheartedly agree with Publius on this one. Next one is Rubanzo, and it is a quote by Epictetus that goes like this: "Man, what are you talking about? Me in chains? You may fetter my leg, but my will not even Zeus himself can overpower." And then Rubanzo says, "This quote shows that your willpower is the strongest part about you. You have to start using it." Very, very wise. Next one is also a quote that Rubanzo contributed, again by Epictetus: "You are a little soul carrying around a corpse." And he says, death is always guaranteed. You know, there's no doubt about that. And then the next quote, which was also sent in by Rubanzo, is by Plato, who says, "Wise men speak because they have something to say. Fools because they have to say something." And then Rubanzo says, "This quote reminds me to only speak when necessary." This is something that I think Cato the Younger also reminds us of. So you can see that even someone who does not really belong to the Stoic school can still say some very Stoic things. Next quotes are contributed by me. And the first one is by Seneca, and it goes, "It is not the person who has too little, but the person who craves more who is poor." You know, I love how the subtle mindset change can affect how you view life and yourself in it. If I am content with all I have everything I could possibly want. If I always want more than I have, I will never have enough. The next quote, it's also sent in by me, and it is by Marcus Aurelius, and it goes, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." You know, it helped me a lot. This quote says to me there's always something I can do to make every moment useful, beneficial, or joyful. I just have to stop seeing it as an obstacle, but simply as a situation. I can work with what I have in that situation and what the situation gives. Moreover, an obstacle can be the exact challenge I need to grow as a person. I can make this supposed disadvantage into an advantage. It encourages me. I can do this. So we already start seeing some similarities in reasons why we sent in certain quotes, which I like this a lot. You can start seeing that there's multiple ways to convey one piece of wisdom. I absolutely love that about philosophy. Next one is also sent in by me. It's again Marcus Aurelius, and it goes, "Soon you'll have forgotten all, and all will have forgotten you." To me this means do things. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't get too caught up in succeeding. At some point you will all you will have done will not be attributed to your person anymore. You know, either a lack of printing or memorizing or extinction. So just do things, live. It's all fine. You'll be fine. The next one is sent in by Bobby, but in the description we put his name as Paul, so that's probably where you would know him from. And this is a quote by Marcus Aurelius, and it goes, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into the world to do? Or is this what I was Or is this what I was created for? Oh, I see. Or is this what I was created for? To huddle under the blankets and stay warm. But it's nicer here. So you were born to feel nice? Instead of doing things and experiencing them? Don't you see the plants, the birds, the ants, the spiders, and the bees going about their individual tasks? Putting the world in order as best as they can? And you're not willing to do your job as a human being? Why aren't you running to do what your nature demands?" And then Bobby says, self-explanatory, I think, so no need for comment. Very good. Only speak when you have something to say, right? The next one is also sent in by Paul. It's a quote from Epictetus, and it goes, "From now on, then, resolve to life as a grown-up who is making progress. And make whatever you think best a law that you never set aside. And whenever you encounter anything that is difficult or pleasurable or highly or lowly regarded, remember that the contest is now. You are at the Olympic game. You are at the Olympic Games. You cannot wait any longer, and that your progress is wrecked or preserved by a single day and a single event." Self-explanatory too. Yeah, I absolutely agree with Paul there. You know, it's happening now, and now you have your Olympic Games, so make something out of it, because we all have to do it. Another one sent in by Paul, Marcus Aurelius again. "Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left of it and live it properly." And then this explanation by Paul is a little more extensive, so I'll read it out to you. "Often our time, our one chance at life, seeps away without us noticing. We go about our days thinking we have plenty of time left, when in fact our life is hanging by a thread. We often have less time than we'd like to think we do. Life can, and often does, end unexpectedly. In this hypothetical scenario, imagine that you have just died. There's so many things you had planned to do, but never got to them. So many things you had wanted to say to those you loved, but never did. You are filled with regrets. If only I had visited my parents, who I hadn't seen for years. If only I had told my friend, the one I angrily insulted yesterday, that I appreciated them so, so much. But now, it's all over. Suddenly, you open your eyes and are back in the world of the living once more. Live now. Stop delaying. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Do what you have to do while you still can. Never take your days for granted. Any of them could be your last. Live so that you may cease to live without regrets. Live so that you can die knowing that you've tried. So you see, there's again this theme of now is your time to live. Do it now, and do the things that are meaningful to you. So I'm really appreciating all these connections that I'm seeing in all these quotes. The next one is sent in by Terrorsaurus. And this quote is by Seneca, and it says, "What then? Shall I not follow in the footsteps of my predecessors? I shall indeed use the old road, but if I find one that makes a shorter cut and is smooth to travel, I shall open the new road. Men who have made these discoveries before us are not our masters, but our guides. Truth lies open for all. It has not yet been monopolized, and there's plenty of it left, even for posterity to discover." And then Terrorsaurus explains the reason this is one of my favorite quotes is that it shows that Stoicism is an ever-evolving and progressing philosophy. It isn't a strict, rigid set of rules, but merely a guiding light to brighten the path on our journey through life. The ancient Stoics are not our masters, but we follow in their footsteps as they smoothed out the path ahead. But they can only take us so far. It's our life to live, and only we can decide the best way to do that. And I think you said it very beautifully. And I wholeheartedly agree with you on that one. That's an excellent contribution. The next one is also sent in by Terrorsaurus, and this is a quote by Musonius Rufus. And it goes, "Since it so happens that the human being is not soul alone, nor body alone, but a kind of synthesis of the two, the person in training must take care of both. The better part, the soul, more zealously, as is fitting, but also of the other. If he shall not be found lacking in any part of that constitutes man." If he shall not be found lacking in any part that constitutes man. Yeah. For obviously, the philosopher's body should be well prepared for physical activity, because often the virtues make use of this as a necessary instrument for the affairs of life. And then Terrorsaurus goes to explain, "I really enjoy this quote, because it shows that while it is important to focus on our mental and emotional training, it is important to not forget to train our bodies as well. I feel like this is a big departure from other philosophical schools, especially the most academic ones. We aren't just a mind, but we are also a body, and I feel like a lot of philosophers neglect that. And I appreciate Stoicism for not neglecting it." Again, an excellent contribution. We haven't really talked about body maintenance before in these quotes or in any of the videos, so that's definitely something to keep in mind that we could touch on in the future. Again, a contribution by Terrorsaurus, a quote by Epictetus, and it goes like this: I have to die. If it is now, well, then I die now. If later, then now I will take my lunch, since the hour of lunch has arrived, and dying I will tend to later. Terrorsaurus says, this is one of my favorites because it shows us to focus on the here and now, and to stop worrying about what's not in our control. And I think it demonstrates Epictetus' wow. And I think it demonstrates Epictetus' dry ass humor. XD. Yeah. Yeah, it's he was he did have that sort of humor, and yeah, again, very good contribution. We haven't really seen quotes that really say that we need to focus on the here and now, so that's also excellent. The next quote is sent in by Wardoggie, and it is a quote by Epictetus, and it goes like this: freedom is not obtained by getting what you desire, but by controlling your desires. And then Wardoggie says, I realize how true this quote was before I even knew who Epictetus was. I realized that wanting never ends, and in my old mindset I would still be unhappy even after fulfilling desires. Now I feel a lot less weight on my shoulders because I've just stopped wanting things. After realizing my happiness is internal, and fulfilling desires never brought me happiness, I changed. Thank you for the very personal touch, Wardoggie, and I think there's some overlapping ideas in this quote, indeed, as well as some of the others that we've had. And yeah, there's definitely truth to the rat race, as we can call it. You know, the hedonic adaptation that we've discussed in an earlier video. Wanting never really ends, you know. So that's thank you for that. And then another contribution by Wardoggie, which is a quote by Marcus Aurelius, and it says, "He is so rich, he has no room to shit." And then Wardoggie says, this quote resonates strongly with me. Alright, quote about poop. It resonates strongly. And also has relation to the previous quote, fulfilling every material desire and accumulating too many things or allowing things and money to burden you will leave you unable to truly live and enjoy your life. It also makes me laugh. Yeah, it did make me laugh too, so thank you for that. Yeah, and that is the list of quotes that we have put in this document for you and all the explanations. I hope this was a welcome gift. I hope that in the comments you can also contribute more quotes. You know, please send us the quotes that mean a lot to you, quotes that really help you. It can also be a mantra that you made for yourself. Yeah, please let us know. And if you have any suggestions for upcoming videos, please do so. You know, as Stoics, we know the power of community. We know how important it is to build each other up and to work with each other, cooperate. So, yeah, thank you. See you next time.